All right, this is the morning garden tour. It's Saturday, April 29th. Figure I better have a little progress update. So the former woodpile is having lots and lots of germination, which is good. Hey, cat. I'm sorry, I mean Toretto. This is the cat that Cody has renamed Dominic Toretto. Okay, so we're going to have some stand here, and I carefully labeled each of the respective rows as they were going to be continuations of the main garden rows, and then the paper blew away out of the garage. So I don't remember what the hell I planted, so we'll just have to wait and do some identification once everything emerges. Got this spot, the high spot, graded out so that there's no longer a puddle by John's gate. I'm still planning on doing a very shallow till over here to prepare a seed bed and doing either the privacy blend or the sorghum Sudan grass sun hemp cowpea mixture. I haven't made up my mind on which yet, but it'll be this nice sweeping area and then back to about the second in post. Nothing new over here, I don't think. The arborvitaes along the west edge are doing pretty well. This one's already put on considerable spring growth. That's a foot up there at least. Jeez, that is very impressive. I'm so happy with these arborvitae, western red cedar. It escapes me what the actual cultivar is of these, but this is the big boy. It's not the small one. I did the Northern Spire in the front bed, which should have a much smaller growth habit, but still grow reasonably quickly. All right, so here's row 10. It has already been very shallowly cultivated, and the green cover seed privacy blend of sorghums has been put in here with the 4 different sorghums from dwarf all the way up to the monster. And then here, these are the 3 rows that are in cereal rye. And this is the Elbon, and it's doing pretty... Oh, look at that. This is the first one I've noticed. That is awesome. Man, this Elbon is early. This is wonderful. Although it is May, almost May, so I guess this is what it's supposed to do. I got it planted late last fall, late September. Late for me, anyway. And son of a gun, look at that. That's all it needed was a little heat, I guess, from this snap. We're way behind on our, I feel anyway, on our heat this spring so far. Our growing degree day accumulation is not there. I should have these figures for these garden tours probably, and our precipitation is way down. I can't believe what a dry April we've had here. This is preposterous. So this is, I think this is row 6 or 7 or 6. I don't, whatever. This was last year's okra row, and I do have the Titan sunflowers sown, and we do have pretty decent emergence. I just love how much frost sunflowers can tolerate. Oh, here's one. So these have already undergone some serious frosts without any leaf damage. I started planting them in probably the 3rd week of March, and then wherever there was bad germination, I've been just filling in. So then last year's Balanza clover and oat mixture has been met with mixed results. And then I did an overseeding by around March 10th, and it didn't take very well. This area over here has always been just a little bit fickle. I really don't think my organic matter content is up enough yet for proper whatever. So I'm allowing the prickly lettuce to just grow because I want something here. I don't want nothing. I will probably do a shallow cultivation on 1 or 2 rows tomorrow and actually plant out a full row or maybe 2 rows depending on how many good starts I have. I got tomatoes and some peppers that are ready right now to get in the ground, even if I have to cover them if we get a few more frosts, but we should be good from this point out. I hate to lose the hairy vetch stand is just so poor in here, and I just kind of randomly threw that in as part of the mix. Sadly, that fixation clover, I really think it needs to get in earlier, like beginning of September. We did have a crazy hard frost, though, a killing freeze, really early last fall, and I think that messed everything up. So I did have some peas come through, some vetch. The oats actually seem to have made it. Actually, I don't know, the oats they're here and there, but their biomass is coming up right now, so that's probably good. But I got pockets of the Balanza, and it still hasn't erupted yet. It's waiting for the heat, I suppose. And then over here, where there's actually sand from construction sand mixed in over here, and that really actually made for a better germination rate overall for the legumes anyway. So that's that. The prickly lettuce, I just decided to heck with it. I let it germinate. I mowed it off last year. It was seedy, so there's probably a pretty good, well, there's probably a good weed seed bank. But even right here, this is spring. This is this year emerged, whereas some of this other stuff I really strongly believe is from last year's germination, and this is technically its second season. It's biennial. So I've come up with anyway, looking it up, and to heck with it. It has a kick-ass taproot, so you know what? I'm just gonna let it drill. Free cover crop, if you will. And then there's some of my favorite, that pink nettle. That stuff comes and visits me every spring. I just love it. I did do, that's right, back to the okra row. I did broadcast frost seed some yellow sweet clover, and I do have spotty germination. But I think I do want to go with a sunflower yellow blossom sweet clover row here this year, just to kind of test the waters on that. Even if I have to do a little bit of whatever I have to do to get the weed pressure down, or the competition pressure down, to let that sweet clover establish. And what else we got? I don't think there's anything interesting over here. The voles have been a nightmare. Good God. Those little bastards have eaten all of the bark off of the roots of many of my plants. And this poor burning bush, it's hard to see, but it's leafing out. We'll see if it survives. It can't have much surviving root left. And all I can say is Dominic Toretto has murdered at least 6 voles that I've found so far. So he is definitely paying for his room and board. Okay, let's move on to the northwest strip, and it looks like caca. I did the Hayden Oat and Balanza, and I just had, man, that Balanza just did not do well. I can't wait to test out a summer planted Balanza fixation clover, just to see if I could get some results. And otherwise, I just got to get that fixation in the ground sooner. And I think planting depth is really important with that stuff. It just doesn't seem to tolerate broadcasting very well. And so last previous winter, I did cereal rye, and it was not Elbon. It was whatever, variety not stated cereal rye with hairy vetch, and stepped it down when it was ready, and it died off just perfectly and made an unbelievable, wonderful mulch. And I'm still struggling with planting through heavy debris. So I mowed off and removed most of the debris and put it in that pile over there. And then I had poor stand, and now I got bare soil. So that sucks. I gotta work on that program a little bit. I am still in process with the Jang seeder modification with the heavy front wheel with disc halter on the wheel, and then a double disc opening situation. So fingers crossed, I'll get some time to work on that soon. And then this is the neighbor's new fence that went in a few weeks ago. And I leveled up here. I had some weird stuff after they took the trees out. I got sunflowers and alfalfa here. I have been putting alfalfa randomly, and last year I did anyway. And this spring, that stuff has got some wonderful tap roots going, so I'm going to go with, and vernal alfalfa to boot. I'm just going to go with it. I could see I got a little bit more leveling to do here to fix this dips. And then this is the other spot in the yard. I cut back a few inches of soil down there at the end of the straw patch, so now we have at least positive drainage. And this area right here next to the blackberries is no longer a lake. I had a big pond right here, at least somewhere randomly between 2 and 5 inches of depression. The worst being right there next to those stunted blackberries. Otherwise, the blackberries are doing awesome. I gotta focus more this year. I got this one buried, and it is now rooted, and it is an offspring, so I can transplant him. And I got a few more growing tips buried for them to root. So by the end of this season, I should have full I should have a pretty full complement in this row. And since I don't have to get the riding lawnmower behind this row now, the neighbors moved their fence a little closer to my yard, so it's now on the property line instead of 4 feet in to their property line. I don't have to get a mower back here at all, really. I'll just ground cover this area. Let's see, I'll move this post over a little bit. Make a single pass through there for access. Add some more blueberries. Conceivably move that far post further west. Add something else down there, some other trellis crop. Looks like the apples are doing pretty good. This grape is leafed out, it's growing. That's some sort of seedless. Well, the low stuff is leafing out on this one. Nothing yet here. These are late. All 4 of these are late. And then this guy, these are doing good. Peas, I got those purple potted peas started at the edge of either of these beds. There's really no action going on here. The off the deck bed is dead still. The power unit, I don't know anything about yet. I'm gonna put some oil in it tomorrow and see if it cranks. It's got some oil in the pan. Fingers crossed it's a survivor. These arborvitae are growing really well also, but I do want to transplant them to that back area, I've decided. I got these 4 Egyptian walking onions. I wasn't sure if they were gonna do anything. I just kind of randomly popped those bulbs in from that nice woman down in southern Will County, and they've all come back amazingly. They're doing nice, and these are the ones with the little onion bulbette on the top, which are whatever, they'll flower midsummer, I guess. Excited about that. So, this bed. A lot of action over here this spring. This is the Northern Spire? Is that right? Western Red Cedar Northern Spire. Yes. A little bit smaller growth habit. I gotta take these tags off. Raise the bed up though to really give them a fighting chance. This area, I need to do some work on this area. There's a drainage problem, as there was with all my yard. I did the same thing. I cut out between the pool and the garage almost 6, maybe 7 inches of soil to actually make the upper yard drain. It was a pond over there, and historically waterlogged, horrible. Brought some of that up here. So now we're gonna start draining. I just need to tune this up a little bit. I don't know. It's got a little backfall from here to over there. Probably not more than an inch, but still, it's a waterlog. Trying to avoid that. Easier to add water than take it away. But this bed, that's right, or inoculated within the wood chips is the King Stropharia, right? That's the wine cap mushroom. So we'll see if that takes and what it does. Pretty excited about that. And, oh boy. Let's see. You know, the south apple bed beyond the smoker, there's really, looks like everything is leafed out. I broadcast some clover and mustard seed in here. I actually broadcast mustard all over every bed gets mustard in an attempt to piss off the voles. And there's pretty decent germination of stuff. So between legume and brassica mustard. And there's the Johnson Sioux bioreactor. It is about ready to fill, so very excited about that. Made a custom pressure treated skid for it. Let's see. The maple stump bush is leafing out nicely. That's a nice little privacy block from the street into the backyard. And here's the starts. Onions up top. They're growing slowly but surely. Various tomatoes, which the sheet blew away on, and cucumbers. Looks like some of these cucumbers took a little beating. I wonder if that's frost or I left them out the other night. Peppers and tomatoes that I just bought flats of. It was $2.99 a flat at Menards for 6 packs. Like, heck. It's time that you can't get back. Peppers and some tomatoes and this. I don't remember which. And then these are jalapenos, but pretty piss poor germination on that. So I don't know if the seed was not good or what. And, ooh, yeah. And the Atlantic Giants. So hopefully it'll be a better pumpkin season. And I think that's about it.